Hello and welcome back to a Mental Health Monday where we answer questions. We do this quest to self enlightenment by being open and honest as we can be and listening to what random studios decides might be a decent way to think about your life. Today we got the Test of the Soul, part 2. See, it was good that we waited. I played through the second one now since I finished the first one. Yes. Diary of a Madman. My brother, poor brother, you're not the only one. Oh sister, sweet sister, the pain has just begun. Contain it no longer. I cast away the sun. In darkness I wander. My Father's will be done. You find yourself, once again, on the inside of a seemingly empty chapel, tucked away in the throes of a midnight storm. The rain pelts the windows like falling stones, and the wind rages on as the chapel doors shake and tremble. As you peer around the room, you catch a set of glowing red eyes, gazing at you under a shroud of darkness. A ghastly apparition begins to form in front of you, accompanied with a grim voice beckoning you into the light. So we meet again, Wanderer. I didn't expect to see you back so soon. Your clothes are soaked and tethered. Come, dry yourself from the downpour. We have all the time in the world to converse. It looks like the storm is going to last a while, Wanderer. Make yourself at home. I'm sure we have a few things to catch up on. I'd love to play our favorite game, wouldn't you? You know, the one where I peer deep into your soul. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, Wanderer. I know I certainly will. We can even make it interesting. I'm going to ask you some questions and you're going to answer them for me. And as always, I'm going to need your complete and utter honesty. There's so much I didn't get to ask you last time when we were in each other's presence, Wanderer. I look forward to getting to know you on an even deeper level. Now, some of these questions are going to be quite difficult to understand. Just take your time and think. It's better to give a genuine answer than it is to rush, for there is no going back. And just like last time, I will tell you what I see within your soul, but this time you might not like what you hear. Let's get started, shall we? Make yourself comfortable as I drill deep into your psyche. We'll begin now. Would you say you're currently in a positive mood? Today, yeah, quite a positive mood. Are you feeling nervous at all? No, not nervous if I'm being honest to you. Are you feeling somewhat anxious? Yeah, I've always felt a little bit anxious. It's one of my problems is that I always worry about things I can't control. Would you say that you're feeling curious at the moment? Yeah, because I've done all of these tests before, and so now I'm just kind of wondering what will come of it this time. Are you currently worried about anything at all? Yes, I do have a trip coming up soon, so I do worry about how that's going to play out. Would you consider yourself to be a fairly open individual? I think I'm quite open to most things, but once I'm closed off, that's it. It's kind of like a done deal. Can you sometimes keep your walls very high and be somewhat reserved? Yeah, at the start, whenever I don't know of you as a friend or understand what you're like, I'm very closed off and reserved. But then as soon as you can like get my attention, it's over. We're best friends. You're stuck with me, and there is no divorce. Do you think that anyone truly knows you, Wanderer? At this point, I feel like there is about two to three people who actually know me, and it's kind of strange to think about it that way because I don't think anyone actually truly understood me before. And now that I am understood, it feels weird to my brain. Would you say you have a pretty good idea of the type of questions I'm going to ask you? No, because every time I think it's going to go down a specific route of questions, it kind of just flip-flops. It changes to a different note. Are you prepared to be completely and utterly honest with your answers moving forward, even if they're difficult to answer? Yes, because if I'm not honest and open about everything, this whole series is not what it's supposed to be. Wonderful, I'll remember that. Have you ever felt like a demon lived inside of you? Yes, I have. At some points, I felt like I wasn't really myself. And I think that's just kind of a general thing that a lot of people deal with whenever the rage really consumes their mind. Interesting. Have you ever looked for a way out of this life? Yes, I have looked at many options for a way out. Sometimes I think if I had just, made a butt ton of money, I could make a way out. There is always the way out that I do not suggest anyone goes for, because every life has meaning, so you shouldn't take that way out. But yeah, I have thought about that one as well. Do you know what it feels like to be truly and completely content? No, because I am always hungry. I always want something else. I always want something new. I always want something exciting. Can two separate people's traumas ever be accurately compared? No. Traumas are personal. Betrayals and things like that all feel different to different people. Some people, it can feel like it's nothing. Other people, it can feel like the worst thing ever. And some things that would be a betrayal to some people aren't betrayals to others. And then some things that aren't a betrayal are much bigger betrayals to others. Do you believe that everyone should have the right to pursue happiness? As long as your happiness does not affect other people, I believe that you should have the right to pursue it. If faith is having the belief in something in the absence of evidence, then would you say that you exhibit faith in anything, Wanderer? Yes, I exhibit faith in a lot of things, because I don't have proof of destiny or karma or fate or anything like that, but I still believe in those different concepts. And then I don't have proof that there's anything at the end of this grand scheme of things, but I like the idea that there might be. Would you consider yourself to be a rational individual, generally speaking? Yes, I think that my rationality is one of my strongest points. I may not have like extreme thought processes on one way or the other, and that is what I think causes me to be more rational and to cause problems in my current life, is because I don't go too far left or too far right or too far front or too far back. And so I always try to stay in the middle. Is it possible to think about nothing? Yes. Whenever I am just at my wall and I disassociate, my brain is occupied, but it is not occupied about anything else. It is not occupied about the wall itself, but it is not occupied about anything on the outside of that wall. It is just this idea that my brain is busy, but it's not busy with anything in particular. It's like a loading fucking symbol just on my brain, and I'm just there like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense when you think about it. It's just there. Have you ever experienced the feeling of emptiness? Yeah, the feeling of emptiness has been a major staple of my life at times, where I try to find things to fill that empty void and it doesn't really work out for me. And so then I try again and again and again, and it's always a necessity to keep finding more things to fill the void. Does death give meaning to life? I think death does give meaning to life, because the problem with everybody living forever is that then there would be no full meaning to life, because there would be nothing to stop you from just doing everything or nothing all at once. Because if you could never die, there'd be no point. There would be no like end. There would just be, oh yeah, I'll do that next millennia. Oh yeah, I'll do that. So it's kind of like you don't have a reason to continue forward. Do you have to experience something in order to know it exists? The short answer is no. You don't have to experience something to know that it exists. All right. So the long answer, though, for that is yes, you have to experience something in order to know it exists. But just to experiencing it doesn't mean you know you're experiencing that thing. So, like, for the easiest example, how can you tell if something is divine intervention? Does an angel have to come down and specifically say, hey, yeah, I just saved your life. You just tripped. And then if you hadn't tripped, if I hadn't stopped you from tripping that specific way, you would have bashed your head open. You can't really prove when something that is, weird happens to someone. Or like, let's go for karma or something like that. Someone cheats on you, they then get cheated on by their next partner. Is that karma, or is that just circumstances? Is that a coincidence that just randomly happened? Or let's say you cheated on a test, but for some reason, because let's say you were a really good person there and everything else, they still let you pass and you're not caught. Is karma going to come back get you later? Or is there some type of thing that kept you from getting, in trouble for cheating on that one test? You never know what can happen, or if you've experienced something that proves that something else exists. So the short answer is no, you don't need to know that something has happened to you to know it exists. I can sit here and be like, yeah, everything exists because I've been affected by everything and nothing all at the same time. Now, does experiencing it and then having proof that it exists helps you know that it exists? Yes. But who's to say that that's not just proof of something else? Do you believe that humans are the only species that question why they exist? I believe that we're the only species that consistently questions why we exist. I feel like every once in a while, other species and other things will be like, is this it? Is this all we do? Which is why you get such curious other animals. Like sometimes you get a duck that doesn't want to stay in the pond, or whatever it is, that doesn't want to deal with whatever small little point of their life there is. Or you get this very inquisitive ant, and it's always just like, what's over there? What's this next big thing? What's that? And they want to know what's going on. It's like a Disney or a Pixar movie, where they just kind of get into this idea of, man, this can't be all I have in my life. I want to do something else. I want to go be an engineer. Do you believe that life has a goal and meaning? I don't know if life itself has a goal, but because there is no goal and there is death at the end of it, life has meaning because we give it meaning. We subscribe meaning to it, so therefore it has meaning. Would you want to be in charge of choosing how you die? I don't think I'd want to be in charge of choosing how I die, unless I can choose when I die as well. Because that kind of makes it a bit more of a problem. Like, if I can know part of my future in the, like, in like all of its entirety, so I can be like, oh yes, at the age of 70 he's going to get really, really, really sick. But then if I'm like, yeah, I don't die until I'm 100, then for like those 30 years I'm just suffering, that would really suck. Like, I wouldn't want to subscribe myself to suffering for 30 plus years because I said, yeah, I don't die till I'm 100, and then I get hit by a bus and I get reincarnated in another anime. You know, I don't want that kind of thing. But it's one of those things where you can't really say for sure why things happen. So no, I don't think I'd want to choose how I die. Have you ever wondered if perhaps you're living in a dream? I have thought about if I'm actually in like a simulation or a dream randomly, because those kind of ideas always pop up whenever I'm just sitting here watching it happen. Like when I rewatch The Matrix or anything like that, it pops into my idea. I'm like, what if everything we're doing is just a simulation or a dream, or I'm not even actually a real person, and I'm just like a game at Blicks and Chips or whatever it's called, Rick and Morty. Do you believe that fear prevents you from living life to your fullest? I believe that fear has played a major part in keeping me very, I don't want to say chained, but, you know, kind of chained, yeah. It's kind of kept me down, and fearing what other people would say or do or think has caused me not to go as far as I should have gone on certain things. And because of that, it's a real shame. Do you believe that you can tell the difference between good and evil? I believe that I can tell the difference between good and evil in reference to myself and to what I believe. But if someone else believes something completely different, their good and evils could be completely different. Something could be evil to me, while other things could be just perfectly alright with others. And that's one of the problems. People are people. And we have our own ideas. And those ideas can sometimes match, or they can be complete opposites. Are defects always bad? No, defects are not always bad. Sometimes defects are kind of like, I don't want to say beauty marks, because, you know, makes no sense. But defects are not always bad. It makes you uniquely you, original. And defects in certain things are always bad. Defects in bulletproof vest are bad. You know, doesn't make it like makes it unsafe. Defects in, you know, the hull of a rocket is bad. But defects on like a random soda can, whatever. As long as it's not something like, oh yeah, it's letting all of the liquid out, then that's bad. But if it's just something that makes the soda can look a little funky, well, guess what? It's fine then. If it's a defect on, like, I hate to say it, on a person, hey, it's a life that they have to live for. A defect makes them more them. It makes something special about them. And I don't want to say that as the horrible way it is, but it is what makes you uniquely you. Is it possible to live with absolutely no regret? No, not in the slightest. You will always regret something because there's always too many choices in life for you to be like, this is the perfect choice every single time. Because there is no perfect choice every single time. There might be a perfect choice once in a blue moon where it's perfect and it doesn't cause any backlash and it doesn't cause any problems, and you know for a fact that that's the only way to go. Do you believe that sometimes good people do bad things? Yes, because good people will always, in a sense, know what they're talking about. They know that this isn't a good thing that they're doing. And sometimes it ends up being a semi good thing, or the means justify the end kind of situation. And then when we go to the opposite end of the spectrum, where a good person doesn't know what they're doing and they end up doing something that is inevitably ultimately bad for everyone. It was in a place of mind where they wanted to do good. So anyone can do good things, anyone can do bad things, both good and bad people, because you don't know exactly how your actions will always go through. We hope that we can tell, but we cannot tell. That's just kind of the way life goes. Would you help someone who wrongs you in the past? Trust me, I've tried to help so many people that have wronged me in the past that it just kind of hurts me a lot more. I put too much struggle on myself because I see other people struggling. And it causes me to let go of things that I definitely shouldn't let go and to push things that I shouldn't push. Because there is nothing that it should have been was. Like, I should have dropped this person or situation way before it got to this point. And I continued to keep going. And it caused me to lose things. And that's a depressing thought, but it's still something that I'm okay with knowing nowadays. Would you continue to be friends with someone who betrayed you? Yeah, I'm still friends with a few people that betrayed me. I don't really have a problem with them, but the friendship is no longer the same, and it will never be the same. Do you believe that you're gifted? And a few things, yeah, I would say that I'm pretty gifted. I have always had a pretty good idea on what to do in life. Do you believe it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all? No, I don't think it's actually better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. Because when you have loved and lost, everything feels worse. You can't enjoy the beauty of the world more after you have loved and lost than if you had never loved at all. If I had never gotten to that point in life where I felt like I was in love, I feel like certain things in life would have still been much better for me than what they actually were. Like, this trip to Tokyo is tainted. No matter how I think about it, it's a tainted trip. Have you ever self-sabotaged and ruined a friendship or relationship? Yeah, of course I have. I think everyone has self-sabotaged themselves at some point, whether it's for a friendship or a relationship. Do you ever feel like a sponge absorbing the emotion of others? Yeah, I definitely do have that problem where I will reflect whatever is being thrown at me. So, like, if you're just sad and depressed all the time, I'm sad and depressed all the time. And if you're super hype and ready to fight God, then I'm super hype and ready to fight God. And it's just kind of one of the easiest ways to go about it. Do you ever feel like a mirror reflecting the emotions of others? Yes. Yes. Do you think the best things in life are free? No. The best things in life are not free. The best things in life have a little bit of a price tag to them, no matter how you think about it. Sometimes the price isn't actually money, sometimes it's just a lot of your time. Do you believe that collective happiness could exist in this world? Collective happiness? No. You cannot make everyone happy because not everyone enjoys the same things. If you were to make everyone happy, you would make everyone miserable. It is much easier to make everyone miserable than it is to make everyone happy. Do you believe a dream can be taken away? Yes, you can definitely crush people's dreams, but it's still a dream at that point. So I guess you can't really fully take it away. You can always just make it out of someone's reach. And like, for example, if you want to be I don't know, let's go with something really weird, a game developer. And let's say that somehow you get sent to a completely dictator running country and he's like, yeah, no more games. No games ever. And then he just keeps you from making games. Then yeah, your dream is slightly taken away, but it's still there. You know, it's still your dream. It makes it less realistic. So I guess it can't ever fully be taken away. Even if it's something physical, like you want to be a big runner, there's always the option to maybe have some type of robotic limbs or anything like that to make it where even if you can't be like the world's best runner, you can be a runner still. Can enlightenment be achieved without realizing it? I would assume that the idea of enlightenment can be achieved without knowing it because everybody thinks enlightenment is different. So all of your enlightenment can be internal and you can feel a different way. But then because you're pursuing enlightenment, you just keep going. You keep pursuing the idea of finding more and enjoying more things and understanding things. So you can just kind of reach what we would consider enlightenment, but then keep going forward. Do you ever get depressed after accomplishing a goal? Yes, I get depressed after accomplishing many goals. Anytime a goal felt like it was a big part of my life, or if something was something I really wanted to do, once I finish it, I sit there for a second and go like, dang. It's also one of the reasons I have a problem finishing certain animes. I will watch them and then be like, oh god, the ending's here. I know the ending's here. I don't want to finish it because I don't want it to be over. It's kind of like the journey is what matters most to me when it comes to a lot of things. So finishing it definitely can make me depressed. Does love hurt? Love does hurt. Love is like getting Falcon punched straight in the face. You know, taking an arrow to the knee. You know, it's one of those things where you can't really expect it to happen, and it just kind of happens to you. Do you ever avoid responsibilities if you can get away with it? Of course. If I can avoid something that I don't need to do at that moment, I will not do it. Now, if I know it'll come back and bite me in the butt later, I'll do it because I know that it'll affect me or someone I care about later. Now, that means I can't get away with it because to me, getting away with it means that there is no negative consequences. And if there is no negative consequences, then guess what? It's not a big responsibility. But if it has any type of negative consequences for me or anyone else, then I do not want to avoid it. Do you believe you feel an emotional pain on a more severe scale than others? I feel like don't really have a more emotional pain for most things, but there are definitely certain things that sting me more than what people would think that it stung me. Anything that comes from some of the people I consider my brothers, those things sting a lot. Like, I feel like they're the worst thing I've ever felt in my life when those happen. So if I ever give you the title of brother and then you hurt me, then phew, that's just one of those feelings where I'm like, yep, that's it. Do you believe true love is possible without being loved in return? Yes, because to me, the idea of true love is when you yourself fall for a specific person and there is no other way to go about living besides with them. Living with them means that that is what you want in life. That is the only goal in life you have. Having them enjoy life, being around them, even if it's not in a romantic sense for them, you just want to help that person. You just want to be around that person. And so you don't need to be loved for that to happen, but it can definitely be how it works. Like, let's take the nerdiest example that I can think of right now. Let's look at Severus Snape, bro. Severus Snape. He did not get to be with Lily, but he got to be in love with her. Do you ever struggle with allowing yourself to be happy? Yes, I have to work hard on accepting little things and not wasting all my time trying to do everything else for everyone else. Because that's the only way that I've been able to enjoy my time is whenever other people are there and I'm like, yeah, let's go do this, let's go do that. When I can just be happy to be alone. Have you ever remembered doing something that you didn't actually do? All of the time. Phantom memories haunt me, bro. I'll be like, yeah, I sent that email. Looks at my emails. I did not send that. Ah, yeah, I sent that message. Ah, yeah, I didn't. And it's just things like that where a lot of my friends at this point, I hopefully know that if I read something, I usually type up a response and then I just don't click send somehow, or like my brain will just be like, yeah, I did it. And then that's why when I do actually do things and people say I didn't do them, it like drives me insane. Do you ever attempt to escape from reality? Escaping from reality is something that I try to do on the daily. I play my games, I enjoy my time with people, I read my books, I watch my anime. I do that to escape from the current reality. And I use that to, in general, be happy about what's going on. Because let's be honest here, reality sucks a lot of the time. And that's okay because it's life. No one expects it to be perfect all the time. No one expects it to be, oh, great time for everyone all the time. Do you think it's possible to truly become the best version of yourself? No, because the best version of yourself is ever improving. And if you are the best version of yourself, that means you are probably dead. Because that was the best version that you ever could have been or ever will be. And at that point, it's a shame because you would have at that point had to be the best version of yourself, which means you had to cut your life short at just the perfect time where you wouldn't be gaining any more wisdom and your physicality wouldn't be gaining any muscle or anything like that. You would have to be like perfect. And that would be the perfect time to die. But there is no perfect time to die. So you can never become the truly best version of yourself. I'm not a Saiyan. I don't stay in my prime for like 50 years. Do you believe you're fated to do specific things with your life? I don't think I'm fated to do specific things in my life. I feel like I have the choice to go on multiple paths. I'm fated to go on multiple paths in my life. And those specific things Each thing isn't like a specific thing I have to do. It's a choice of each thing. It's an ever branching multiverse. So like I could do this thing or I could not do that thing. Or I could do this thing or I could not do that thing. And each thing branches off into its own universe. And so it's kind of like I'm not fated to do those things, but I am fated to make the choice to or to not do those things. Do you believe life is an adventure? Yes. Life is an adventure and everything about it is an experience. It's adventure time, bro. Do you believe the future can be predicted by looking back into the past? I don't believe that the future can be predicted, but I do think people's motives can be predicted. Because most motives in the world have already been done by one person or the other. Can time be wasted? Yes, time can be wasted, but it's never a waste if you're enjoying your time. Do you ever wonder where your life will be in 10 years from now? I question where will end up in life all the time because there's nothing I can really do in life besides move forward. And moving forward and looking back kind of only work if you can see progress. And I can't always see the progress, so sometimes I do sit there and just wonder what's gonna be my future? What's gonna happen if I can't progress? What happens with this? So I do wonder how life will be in 10 years. Have you ever acted recklessly because you didn't think you'd live a long life? Whew, alright, let's think about that one. Have I ever acted recklessly because I didn't think I'd live a long life? Yes. Quite often actually. I've done some crazy things when I was younger because I always thought I'm not gonna live past this age. I'm not gonna live at this point. It's just something that my brain's like, nah. I can always think about it later. Do you believe science and religion can happily coexist? Yes, actually. Because the simplest way to explain it is this small thing was created by something else. Simple. Science can literally just be an extension of religion. Like, why do we have to believe that everything bad that happened or good that happened is because of specifically the All Father in the sky? You know, that kind of thing. When, you know, it could still be the All Father in the sky put this thing here. You know, wow. It's so hard to think, man, he could have just put this here and then we could have grew from that. Because it's like, there's so many unknown mysteries that we can literally just say, it didn't start here, it started way back then. And we don't even know how it started, but someone started it. Because guess what? That's exactly what it is. Something or someone started it. We may not know exactly who or what it is, but it happened. So we just kind of have to accept that it started at some point. Do you believe that world peace could ever truly exist? No. Because, like I said, we cannot come to the idea that other things exist without other things. We always have problems and people that don't think that they can just compromise. Do you think an animal can be evil? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I think that it's common? No, but I 100% think an animal can be evil. There was this one random, I don't know what, I think it was a duck that would, torment the neighborhood kids. Probably because the kids were, mean to it at one point, but I can't say for sure because I didn't live there long. But, there was this lore of a duck that would torment people. And I'm like, but why? Like there is literally no reason not to to torment these kids every single time they come around. Maybe it was protecting its nest, and at that point, it just became an urban legend. But like, there are many things that can happen. Do I think it's a common thing? No, I think almost every animal is 100% the sweetest thing ever and deserves all the hugs and the loves when they want it, of course. Consent, even with animals. But there are definitely some animals that just don't like people. And for some reason, I can't say if it's, good or bad. They don't. Maybe they weren't treated right. Hey, and I get that. Humans aren't the nicest people. But they come across as evil. They hurt things, they hurt people. Like dolphins. Dolphins are pretty evil, if you ask me. They're pretty cruel. Same things with orcas. They're pretty cruel. Do you believe that humans are animals? Yeah, if we're gonna go by the previous question, then yeah, there's definitely a bunch of evil animals. But if we're just gonna say in general, yeah, humans are animals. Have you ever questioned any of your own answers yet? Yeah, I have questioned a lot of things that I've said just because it's kind of hard to be like, yeah, I've never had these questions before, which is very cool when you think about it. I've had many, many different questions, and I've had many types of experiences in life. And so going back through these specific test series and getting completely different questions and getting different words really gives, I guess I would say, a different perspective, gives a different novelty. Is there such thing as a foolish question? In this context, no. But there's such thing as a foolish question. If I am super short and someone looks at me and they can see that I am super short and they ask, "Are you short?" That's a very foolish question. Do I consider myself short? Maybe, probably, because the world considers me short. But when it comes to just general perspective, yes, I am short. Me, as a person, I am not short. That was just a generic description. I sometimes wish I was actually shorter. Won't even lie, it sounds weird when you think about it, but like sometimes I just want to be slightly shorter. Not a lot shorter, just like 2 inches. 2 inches shorter. Would you say that you've had a problem with authority? Yes. Authority has always been a thorn in my side. I don't like following rules that don't make sense to me. You know, if I feel like the rules are dumb, I don't want to deal with them. And so that makes it where I don't respect authority in those aspects. And then that causes more problems because I'm not respecting authority, so then authority doesn't respect me. If given the opportunity, would you run your own country? No, I would not run my own country. I would help someone else run their country. So whenever the lynchings start happening, they want to lynch them first, and then me. I'm okay with getting lynched second, you know. But I prefer the idea of maybe running my own country if I knew I could run it like Doom runs his country. Excuse me. You know, a full fucking what is that called? Utopia, where people are happy all the time, and I'm technically a great guy there, even if I am a dictator. That's what I want. I want like an actual utopia if I was gonna run a country. and I can't guarantee that, so I don't want to run my own country. So I guess if I given the opportunity, I probably would still run it. I wouldn't want to, but I would still give it a shot. Cause like you gotta give it a shot, you know? Are you exactly where you'd like to be in life at this moment? No, not at all. But I'm gonna continue working towards where I want to be in life, and hopefully that can end up being a good thing. Ah, yes, I had a hunch. Are you afraid of what your future may hold? Yes, because I do not know the future, and the future is unknown, and the unknown is scary. Do you have any strong controversial opinions that you avoid openly speaking at times? Yep, because if I said all my controversial opinions, I would be left alone. And then probably hated, and then left alone again, and then probably hated again. Would you sacrifice everything you have in life to save someone you care about? I don't know if I would sacrifice everything I have in my life for someone I care about. But maybe actually, now that I think about it, because I'm like, I've given up so many things already for people I care about, and I don't think I'd have a problem with giving up more for someone who I really cared about. Like, I think I would give up everything and then some for my mother. Do you think someone would sacrifice everything they have in life to save you? No, I do not think someone would sacrifice everything they have in my life to save me. And that's what I would consider okay, because it's not what I expect. It's not, I shouldn't expect too much from most people anymore. Do you ever enjoy breaking rules? All the time. What is the saying? Rules are meant to be broken. Like buildings and people. You have the most in-depth personality among your peers. I have no clue. I will say no because I do not think my personality is more in-depth than everybody else's, but I definitely don't know for sure like what their personalities are like all encompassing. So no, I'm not gonna say I am the most in-depth. Have you ever surprised yourself by accomplishing something you didn't think you could accomplish? Yeah, actually. Whenever I look at myself now comparatively to before, I see my progress and I see that accomplishment and I enjoy it. And it kind of surprises me whenever I do extra weights or anything like that. Oh man, I never realized that. That's a mouth right there. Like looks like teeth and an eyes. Oh. Well, anyways, I got distracted. Do you ever feel like your life is out of control? I do feel like it sometimes, but then I remember that the only way to be out of control of your life is by not trying to take the reins of it. Because I am not some type of poor prisoner of war or anything like that, or I have someone physically or emotionally oppressing me to make me do anything specifically. So I feel like I have more control, but I do feel like it gets out of control sometimes. Do you like feeling in control? Well, yes, I do like feeling in control of my own life. And I like feeling in control of just general things because it makes it feel more stable, if it will, and I'm not so worried about it. Do you like having no responsibilities? I also like having no responsibilities because then I can just kind of laze around and just vibe. And that allows people to make a fool of themselves and handle everything. And I just kind of sit there like, damn, that's crazy, bro. This storm doesn't seem to be letting up, now does it? That's all right. We've still got so much to talk about, Wanderer. Have you ever held regret for something terrible you might have done that wound up hurting someone else? My regrets when it comes to hurting other people usually happen only in the moment when I hurt them, because then they usually try to get even or get back, and then that makes it feel better for me. I feel vindicated because it's like, all right, I hurt you on accident, but you hurt me on purpose. Have you ever played the victim even though you knew you hadn't been wronged? I know as a child I had, so yeah, I'm gonna say yes, of course. But like more as an adult, I feel like anytime I play the victim, it's actually because I feel wronged, and I actually feel like something caused me to be wronged. Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, just because. Yeah. Have you ever lied to get someone in trouble? I have never lied to get someone in trouble. Not actually lied to get someone in trouble. I like to tell half truths. Well, I'll say something like, he's not here, but I don't know where he's at. So I'm like, it's the truth, but it's not the full truth. If someone asks me, do you know where they're at? And I'm like, he's not here. But I know he's like down the street. Then it's not, I'm not lying. I'm just telling half truths. Have you ever failed to tell the truth to keep someone out of trouble? There we go. See, that one's better. Yes. I have failed to tell the truth. I will tell half truths to keep someone out of trouble. Mostly because it's never a super serious situation. If it's a super serious situation, then I will 100% usually tell the truth and try to get people to understand that, yeah, it's not worth it. Like, no matter what you're doing, it's not worth it to lie about most things. Would you consider yourself to be traditional? No, not anymore. I was traditional at one point. And to be honest with you, I don't even know what my traditions would be anymore at this point. Does your mood tend to change drastically with the changing of the seasons? No. There's only one season that my mood changes drastically in it, and that's spooky month, because I love spooky month. Do you oftentimes feel guilty for things that you know aren't actually your fault? I feel guilty for other people's situations a lot of the time, especially when they're my friends. And I know it's not my fault, but I feel like if I was better, I could help them. If I was this, I could help them. And that's the worst way to be. But I understand. Would you consider yourself to be socially awkward? Socially awkward? Yes. Especially when it comes to certain scenarios and people. I'm definitely socially awkward. Would you care if you were forgotten after you died? Yes. Yes, I would care if I was forgotten if I was died. Being forgotten is one of my biggest fears. And I think that's why I yap so much. And I try to like leave something behind so that people can know that I existed. Have you ever persuaded someone into changing their mind to better suit your wants or needs? Yes, I have debated people. I have explained my perspective on things to hopefully make it a understanding. And if they change, they changed. And if they didn't, they didn't. I'm not going to say like it's the best thing every time to try to persuade people, because it's not. Sometimes it's better just to let it be, which is what I did this last time, was let it be, drop it after saying my piece, and then that's it. Do you feel you have a strong moral obligation to protect the ones you love? More obligations, yes. I think when it comes down to it, you have to protect the people you care about the most, because that is basically the only moral way to do it. Do you think love might be the best feeling in the world? Have you ever won like 10 games of League of Legends in a row? Have you ever? Have you ever beaten a Dark Souls boss right after losing all of your souls when you have nothing else to lose? Have you ever sat there and 1v1'd your best friend and went hit for hit and it felt like something that was like destined to happen? I don't know, man. Is love the best feeling in the world? I could say. Do you think love might be the worst feeling in the world? Okay. So have you ever lost 10 games of League of Legends in a row? Have you ever lost every single one of your like 2 million souls in Dark Souls? Have you ever went against your best friend and he just completely stomped your face in? You know, he hit you with everything and he perfected you. He hit you with the full cutscene with King. You know, you ever get Captain Ginyu'd and body snatched in Dragon Ball Z games? Yeah, I also think that you understand that it's the worst feeling in the world as well. If your current emotional state could be described as a type of light, what would it be? A lightning flash across a stormy sky. Right now, which form of solitude feels most like your own? A cluttered room with no one to share it with. Which shade of water reflects your inner emotional condition at this very instant? Turbulent waves. What kind of mirror are you to yourself right now? Cracked but intact. If your mind were a room right now, what would it feel like? A locked attic full of forgotten relics. Would you say that you're an impulsive person at times? Yeah, I'm pretty impulsive. I try to do everything from a logical and reasonable standpoint, but I'm impulsive. Do you ever get obsessive when you're passionate about something? Boy, do I get obsessive when I'm passionate about something. I overthink and I overwork myself so I can hopefully make it work, and then it doesn't work. Have you ever pondered what's the best way would be to dispose of a body? For all intents and purposes, no, I've never pondered on the best way to dispose of a body. Haven't we all? No, not at all. I've never pondered it. Would you help your best friend hide a body? No, I would not help my best friend hide a body because that's immoral and wrong. So, you want to be friends, Wanderer? I would be your friend. I don't see why not. Lovely. Do you sometimes have a difficult time receiving compliments? Compliments kind of come and go, and then I don't really believe them when I get compliments. Does the quote, "Some people are so poor, all they have is money," hold any meaning to you? Yeah, I have seen that for a first-hand account, you know. Just look at some of the YouTubers in the world. Streamers, they have so much money yet, and everything else, they are so poor. Would you say that you can be a bit of a procrastinator? Hell yeah, let's procrastinate about everything. Got a paper due? Nah, it's not due till tomorrow. We can waste some time. Do you sometimes take things too literally when they're not meant to be taken that way? Yeah. I take things too literally a lot of the times, and that makes people think that I am too rigid on certain things. But I think that's just because my brain thinks Why would you say that if you don't mean that? Do you have a difficult time keeping your focus? I have a difficult time keeping my focus on most things, and that's why I tend to yap about whatever, and I get off topic, and then when I come back to topic, I'm like, oh yeah, that had nothing to do with it. But this time, I will stay focused. Have you ever struggled to find your purpose in life? Yeah, because I'm not sure what my purpose could be. In the grand scheme of things, I don't know what I want my purpose to be. Would you consider yourself to be insecure? Alright, the Watcher here. Alright, Watcher. You're fucking with me at this point. You're just asking me questions that I already know. The answer is yes. You're trying to get in my head, and I don't like that. But yeah, I'm kind of insecure at times. Look, I have two moods. I'm either the shit or I am shit. Do you sometimes feel lost, like you just don't know where you're going? Oh yeah, but that's okay. Being lost is okay. It's not really about the destination anyways. It's about the journey. Do you sometimes have a difficult time saying no to the ones you love, even when it's detrimental to you? Yes, and that is my main problem. I say yes almost immediately as soon as someone says we should do this, we should do that, we should do this. Yeah, that's fine. Even though I should just say no. In one of my last relationships, they wanted me to treat them in a very specific way, and I didn't really want to treat them that way. But they said they liked how it felt, and then at the end of that relationship, people were like, man, you treated them bad. I'm like, but okay. Do you find that you generally have an easy time understanding others, though others don't have an easy time understanding you? Yes, I have an easier time understanding other people's mentalities and thought process than they do understanding mine. Do you feel like you've put more effort into others than others have put into you? Yes. Quite a lot, actually. I put in a lot of effort for so little payoff. Do you believe you suffered trauma that still affects you today? Oh yeah. Yeah. The baggage is still baggaging. Can you remember the moment when you were the weakest you had ever been? Yeah, actually. It was within the few months, you know? I had lost most of the people I considered friends. I had money problems. I didn't really enjoy my job. And life just kept beating down on me. There were medical problems coming up. I had medical fears. And everything just kind of all boiled down. Is attention something you both love as well as hate? Oh yeah. I like being the center of attention, but I hate being the center of attention. It's why I prefer to do most things in groups, and why I specifically decided to do Mental Health Mondays basically by myself, was so that I can maybe get used to being in the center of things and having, the scrutiny of the world on me at that point. Do you ever worry about whether or not someone genuinely likes you? Well, yeah. It's one of the main things and main questions I always ask myself about. Are they actually my friends? Do they actually like me? Do they actually want to do this with me? It's kind of like standard stuff in my opinion. It's not like a super weird thing to think about. Have you ever felt taken advantage of? Yes. It's very simple. People take advantage of people and it happens. Do you ever get an overwhelming sense of dread or impending doom? Currently have that right now, if I'm being honest. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I feel like it's alright. You know deep down in your heart that everything's going to be okay? Yeah? Because, I mean, like, what's the worst that happens? I die. If I die, I die. Just so you're aware, it will be. Well, thank you. Now, I'm almost done with you. Just a few more questions, Wanderer. Would you rather love or be loved? Be loved. Is it better to live a long, mediocre life or a short, fulfilling life? Short but fulfilling. Would you rather have inner beauty or outer beauty? Out. Inner. Which would you say more you value more, your own life or the lives of others? I would say the lives of others when it comes to actual people I know, but if it's literally just Joe Schmo, then I really don't value the lives of others. So we're just gonna say that because of the question, it's the lives of others of people I know. Would it be easier to prove that gods exist or that God doesn't exist? I think technically it'd be easier to prove that he does exist, because you would just have to have him do one thing. Well, to prove that God doesn't exist, you didn't have to disprove everything that people claim can be God or is God. Would you rather struggle to wake up every morning or struggle to get to sleep every night? Joke's on you, I suffer from insomnia, so I have to down like 1 billion melatonins just to get to sleep. And I still don't even sleep most of the time. Would you rather have too many friends or too few friends? I think at this point, I'd rather have too few friends. No, actually, I would rather have too many friends, because I can then at that point do more with the more friends I have than do less with the too few friends I have. Like, if I have not enough friends, I can't play the games I want to play with them, you know? Like, we'll always be kind of screwed. Like, let's say for Night Rain specifically, before they added the duos mode, having too few friends means we had to get a random every single time. But if I had too many friends, I could just change what group I'm playing with at that time. Would you rather be the center of attention or completely ignored? Ignored or be the center of attention? Always be the center of attention rather than be ignored. Would you rather never read again or never write again? I mean, I kind of need to read. I mean, like, I think it'd be better to never write again. I guess if writing includes typing, then I'd rather. Ooh. So, if writing does not include typing, then it's definitely 100% writing. But if writing includes typing, then I need that for my job. But I also need reading for every other part of my life. So I would just say never write again, just because I do not think it includes typing or using voice to talk, because I could just do that all the time and that would really suck. But it works better than the on-screen keyboard. Would you rather have constant daylight or constant moonlight? I mean, like, I would prefer constant moonlight. The daylight kind of bugs me. Never gonna beat the vampire accusations. But the constant moonlight, it just feels less harsh. I know you need daylight for, like, feeling less depressed and less a lot of things. But yeah, I'd rather have constant moonlight. Would you rather save the world from pollution or save the world from hunger? I'd rather save the world from hunger, because pollution, yeah, it's really bad and it's going to end up being the problem, but hunger causes people a lot of pains in the moment, while pollution will be a slightly later problem, if that makes sense. Would you rather live for only one more day or live for an eternity and never die? So, living for an eternity and never dying would suck, because at some point you would get to the point where the Earth explodes and then you would just float in space until hopefully another Big Bang happens and another Earth does find its way. Or, if you only live for one more day, then that means that all the things and dreams you had are gone. And like every single one of the like characters who are immortal always explain how much that sucks. You watch everyone die, you watch all these things, bad things happen. But I guess technically, as I currently am right now, I would prefer to live for eternity and never die. Just because I have not felt that immortality sting yet. I feel like 100% I will feel that immortality sting once I see everyone else die or the heat death of the universe. But until I get to that point, I can still focus on my dreams. So yeah, this is the correct option, is what I'm gonna say. But this is the option that my brain wants me to click because it's currently the truth. Would you rather sleep too much or sleep too little? I'd rather sleep too much. Well, no, I already sleep too little, so I mean, like, I guess that's fair. I already feel tired, so I'll just keep what I currently have. 3 hours of sleep, gang. Gang. Would you rather live in reality or a dream of your choosing? Honestly, if it's a dream of my choosing, then my reality would be the same in a sense. It's like, I know it's a dream, so it's okay, but at the same time, I wouldn't know it's a dream because it's the dream of my choosing, and the dream of my choosing wouldn't let it be known as a dream. Would you rather have someone else make all of your decisions for you or make all of your decisions by tossing a coin? I don't trust people enough. I would probably rather have all my decisions based on a coin flip. Would you rather lose your long-term memory or your short-term memory? I'd much rather lose my short-term memory. Actually, I don't know about that. I think that would be bad either way. Actually, yeah, I'd rather lose my short-term memory and then end up having to repeat things way more often than I should, than lose some of the memories that I had for all like the long-term things and friends I've had. Would you rather be wanted or needed? The problem is I'd rather be wanted, because when you're needed, as soon as you're not needed anymore, they usually get rid of you, and that's kind of disappointing and depressing. Would you rather go to jail for something your friend did or have your friend go to jail for something you did? Look, if I'm going to jail, it's for something I did. I will not go to jail for you, so I'd rather you go to jail for me. Would I help you out in jail? Yeah, you should know I'll help you out for jail. But I'm not going to jail for you if you're not going to. We in this together, brother. Would you rather be immune to physical pain or be immune to emotional pain? Emotional pain, because being immune to physical pain means that I still have those broken bones. I still have those horrible things happen to me. So like, physical pain is kind of like necessary. Because what was that movie that I just watched? Novocaine? Yeah, Novocaine. Wait, was it Novocaine? I think it was Novocaine. Oh well. Anyways, you could be immune to it, but that doesn't mean that all of the bad things don't happen still. Because like, everything that's bad still happens. Would you rather choose truth or always choose dare? I would rather always choose dare, because that's a bit more interesting to me. Telling everyone the truth all the time is something I'm willing to do naturally now, at this point. I dare you to always tell the truth. I, you son of a biscuit. Would you say you're more of a realist or more of a dreamer? More of a realist. Are you more afraid of dying or losing a loved one? I am more afraid of losing a loved one than I am of the actual dying. Do you put more value on honesty or resourcefulness? I put more value in resourcefulness if I'm being honest. I would prefer the honesty, but if you're really resourceful, I'll still keep you around. Which emotion do you believe is stronger? Love or anger? They're the same thing in my opinion. Well, I guess love would technically be the stronger of the two. Do you believe that you personally are more of a product of nature or nurture? I think I am more of a product of nurture. My mother made me the way I am. I find your answers very intriguing, Wanderer. I believe I've gotten to know you even better than before. I'd like to thank you for allowing me a second opportunity. It truly has been an honor analyzing someone of your depth. I suppose a deal is a deal, isn't it? Allow me to grant you a gift. This is the gift of insight, Wanderer. I will tell you what I see deep within you. Please listen to my words carefully, for they contain the trapped essence of your soul. Interesting, Wanderer. Tell me something. How does it feel to know how to love, but struggle to feel loved yourself, at least in the same capacity, if nothing else? You do know the feeling I speak of, yes? That feeling of longing for more, the equal effort and reciprocation, Wanderer? Giving so much to others, yet receiving so very little. You must wonder where things went so wrong. What is it? Was it your childhood? Was it later in life? What happened, Wanderer? Or is it happening right now? You've put in so much work. You've gotten so far with so very little, and you don't take enough pride in that, Wanderer. You've accomplished a lot more than you realize, and there's so much more ahead. You really should take more time to celebrate the small victories just as much as the big ones. You're so overly critical of yourself. That same beautiful mind of yours can be such a dark place, can it? Multifaceted you are, multidimensional to say the least. Hey, I said that earlier. You've always known you're different than the rest, but you don't quite fully understand. How do you? Different is not a bad thing, Wanderer. Not in the slightest. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. You've got far more going for you than you realize, a bright future than what darkness shrouds, and that void within will one day be filled. Not all who wander are lost, my friend. The more pressure you put on yourself, the less likely you are to achieve what you long for. Free yourself from the shackles of your mind and allow yourself to live. You deserve so much more than what you've given yourself. You are in control, Wanderer, even though it doesn't always feel like it. If you could see the future, I see your soul would be filled with nothing but joy and happiness. But it's not that easy now, is it? No, of course not. But that's okay, Wanderer. Because eventually you'll see what I see too. And eventually you will be smiling the way you deserve. I can promise you that. Heed these words, Wanderer. They will help you on your journey forward if you let them. Once again, I want to give you a parting gift before I take my leave. As a simple gesture, if you will. One singular word. And that gifted word, Wanderer, is proud. You're damn right I'm proud. Remember this word moving forward, for it will help you in ways that you couldn't possibly fathom. Trust me on that. And with that, I take my leave. Until next time, Wanderer.
Burn rubber at midnight, feel the vibe. City lights flash.
Alrighty. Well, thank you as usual for letting us know. Well, not letting us know. Thank you for watching. And if you have any comments, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. But as always, it's just another Mental Health Monday where we talk to people and let it be known that you are loved and cared about. So make sure that you keep everything in a more classy way. Make sure to remember that you're important and you matter. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.